Alright guys, we have Audi A4 2009 2.0 turbo. So it's a sedan, a four-door sedan. I went ahead and lifted it up. We're going to be changing the front brake on the side today. The tools we'll be using, one regular screwdriver, and then we have a 13mm socket, and then we also have 17mm impact to remove the tire, and then we have the brake lube. We also have a C-clamp and the brakes, Duralast Gold from AutoZone. We did not use the cheaper one. This is very good. It comes with the clamp and also with the sensor, which should be on this side. A little different on the Audi brakes. This goes inside of the piston, and this will be the outer side of the brake. So that's all we need, guys, to get this going. I do recommend some safety glasses for today, because when you are removing this thing can fly out, unlike a lot of brakes. And it is a little daunting when you look at when you take off the wheel. So let's get started. First, you go ahead and remove this. Just be very careful with it so you don't scratch it or break it. And just set it off to the side somewhere safe. And now it's early in the morning for me, but it's after 8 a.m. so I can make a little bit of noise. Neighbors may not be too happy about it. And once again, just keep all your items safe and away from everything, so you know where everything is. Alright, neighbors should be okay with the noise. Alright, when you look at this, it looks a little different than like American brakes. You're looking at this, but that's just the brake caliper holder. So what we want to do is we're going to remove this piece, which is this piece. We're going to take this one off first, and then all we have to do is just go behind the caliper here, and you'll see, like normal brakes on any American car, we're just going to take off these two bolts in the back, and then we'll just raise out the entire caliper and then remove the pads. So let's get started. 13mm ratchet. This is, put it in the off position. Counterclockwise. Probably go ahead and finish it by hand here, and we'll put that with our other items. We will remove the sensor. Well, it just broke off, so we'll be putting the new one on. I noticed on the Audi there's not too much torque on these bolts. So when you put them back on, do not over torque them, because they look like they might be they might be able to be, the head's taken off. Alright, so now we've removed that. We've gone ahead and removed the caliper. Now we'll take this off. I am wearing safety glasses, so before you do this, I would at least put your hand over it as you pull out, and that comes off just like that. So now we can go ahead and pull the, and you will discard this one because we have a new one. Now we can go ahead and take the caliper out and just go back and forth between the bottom and the top, not putting too much pressure on any one area. Take a minute here to get this off, and don't let it fall. Remember, we have this brake line. This is pretty fragile. As I look at this, there's no leaks or anything, which is good, but we do not want to crimp this. We definitely do not want to damage it around the fitting there. So just be careful with this, because this will eventually just fly off. Alright, it wasn't totally easy, but we finally got it off here. Just be careful around that sensor wire. And go ahead and put this up. Be careful not to crimp that. We'll just set it up there for a moment. You'll see here that this comes out of the piston. And that's this piece. This will be the new one. So it's just going to go back inside there after we compress the piston. These pads weren't too bad, but as you can see from the sensor, it had already worn it down enough to where it hit the two contacts and then gave the warning inside that it's time to change the brakes. So we're not missing too much here. And we will discard this also. And then the other pad we'll take off here. And once again, definitely was time to change them. They were down to nothing. Alright, so we have our two new pieces to go back in. Before we do that, we'll go ahead and use this guy, put this back on, and we're going to go ahead and compress the piston so we can put the new pads back in. Set it like this so we can get the C-clamp back in here. And just take your time with this. You want to kind of put it in the center, and we want to keep this as a base so we can spin this around. And you can see that this is pretty much staying still. If it starts to walk, then it's going to walk itself off and you'll be sitting here forever trying to do this. So just take your time with it, go slow. And we slowly compress it, the piston all the way back in, as you can see. You will know when it comes to the end. And then we'll just unwind the C-clamp. Alright, that's it. So that's about as far as we get.